What is reincarnation and is it real? Let's talk about some theories and ideas on the subject. Hey guys, welcome back to Tipharot. It's me Matt here, and today I want to talk reincarnation. So, no one knows what happens after we die. We can all speculate. You can say, life just ends and there's nothing more, or perhaps you think that, there's heaven or another place that we go to. There's so many theories about what can happen, and it's one of those things that can never be proven because we can't, see what's there until we actually experience it ourselves. And, maybe there is something after death, maybe there isn't. There are theories that are more likely than others, but we can't know for sure. And so these theories are really interesting because of that kind of mystery, the element of it being impossible to know just makes them a lot more interesting. And one of those theories that a lot of people believe in is reincarnation. And I'm going to preface this with the fact that I don't know for certain what I believe in. I believe that certain things are more likely to be the case than others, but I don't have a firm, view where I say it's definitely reincarnation, or we're definitely going to heaven, or we're definitely just not experiencing anything after we die. I don't have a, set in stone view like that. I have, several views that I think are the most likely. One of them actually is reincarnation, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think that. So when I say reincarnation, there are several different ways of looking at it. The most common way is this idea that you die and somehow, your soul or your spirit or something goes on to live in another person. Now that's an interesting idea, but what if you looked at it from a simple perspective of matter? If you are just the atoms in your body, the matter in your body, that matter is never destroyed after you die. If you are just the makeup of your brain and your neurochemistry and all of your organs and everything that goes on in your body, then that stuff is broken down into something different, but the actual matter that makes it up is not destroyed. That matter was here since the beginning, and that matter will be here till the end. So if we are just the matter, then perhaps reincarnation could be seen in a different light, as just a kind of reassembly of atoms that goes on over and over in time. Now we might not be a person for another, 600 billion years or something. We might not even be a person at all ever again. But, that matter, goes through transformation, it isn't destroyed, it changes over time. And that's a kind of another interesting way of looking at it. I think when people say reincarnation, they automatically get the image of, one person to another person. But what if it is just, this change in matter that happens? Another way of looking at it is the idea of a kind of a linear reincarnation where perhaps you become your children or your children's children, your consciousness goes into them or something like that. There are so many ideas surrounding it, and the question is, is it real? Do we have any actual evidence that it's real? We don't have any evidence that it's real, especially in the sense of, one soul going to another body or something like that. There are lots of interesting things that, could serve as some evidence towards it, like people having past life regression and having memories from past lives, and so on, often with, some really stunning details. But the thing is, there's nothing to say that these memories necessarily came from past lives. We do have amazing, intuition, and we do have amazing abilities to know some astounding things without seemingly knowing where we know them from. So it's very possible that, we are able to get some accurate information about, other people's lives and so on without actually having to have experienced them ourselves. So why is it one of the theories that I have in my kind of possible theories selection? Well, for me, part of it is just that it's a really nice idea. This idea that life is kind of cyclical. And, in nature we see a lot of cycles. We see these cycles of death and rebirth and so on. And it just kind of fits that life would be a cycle like that. And also, for me, the idea that I mentioned earlier of us just being broken down into our matter, and that matter, continuing on in some shape or form, is kind of something that I see as, a fact. Yes, we might not necessarily be conscious in the same way that we are in this body, but I suspect, if our universe is an infinite one, or if it's, a very, very long-lasting one, that will at least be part of some form of consciousness again, at least once or twice. So I actually think the idea of us being reincarnated in some form is actually quite likely, in that sense, and not as unscientific as, it would normally sound when you talk about reincarnation. As for the idea of, us having a soul that goes to another person or whatever, I also like that idea. I'm not obviously as convinced by it because, I haven't seen as much evidence for that. But I believe it could be possible, and, I'd find it quite cool if that was the case, going from one person to another. I have actually undergone a past life regression type hypnosis thing before, and I had strange and believable memories of past lives, but I take all of this with a grain of salt, and to me it was an experience. I don't take it as fact that I actually had these lives or whatever. So to me it wasn't evidence of reincarnation, it was just a very fascinating experience. So what about you guys? Do you believe in reincarnation? And if so, how do you believe it takes place? And I'm also curious about people who, for example, believe in heaven and so on. How do you believe that affects things like reincarnation? Do you believe that both of these things could coexist and so on? Because to me, I've always taken on this view that, for example, heaven and hell, things like this, are actually more states of being than, places. I very much believe that there is such a thing as a heaven or a hell, but that these are states that people can go through. There is a state of living in a hell in your life, and there is a state of living in heaven and in harmony with the world, and so on. So, do you believe that? Do you believe that it's, some place that you go after you die? What do you actually believe happens to you after death? I'd love to hear your theories. I am supportive of anyone's theories, no matter how strange or how simple the theory may be. I think we should all keep an open mind, and that we don't really know these sorts of things. So I think it's up to everyone what they believe. So anyway, I'd like to hear your theories down in the comments below. If you liked the video, remember to subscribe up there because we've got regular videos that come out multiple times a week. If you did enjoy, leave a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or questions or want to share your own thoughts, then do that below. If you want to keep watching, check out the video that's linked on screen. And if you don't have me on Twitter already, remember to follow me at Tipharot. Thanks for watching, guys.